Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Unscripted with your boy Jay McLovin and my beautiful sidekick who must be applying some kind of moisturizer cream is why his face is not present. It's okay. Babyface Logan Landers. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, Jay? Hope you're doing good, brother. We got a busy week coming up with Christmas and everything. And if you're going anywhere, if our listeners, viewers go anywhere, just be safe out there, man. The roads are getting wild here in Georgia. It's getting a little colder and got some sleet here today, so just be safe.
Yeah, it was funny. It was so cold. I saw one little snowflake drop. I watched it hit the ground. I took a picture of it and sent it to Frankie. I said, see, we got snow here in Georgia.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What are you talking
I'm
about?
not saying
Anyway.
New York ain't got nothing on Georgia snow, brother.
Hey, listen. They might have the cold weather, but we damn sure know that they can't handle the heat. Because this heat down here I made the mistake, Logan, real quick. I made the mistake one day. I went outside. I went down the steps. I got to the concrete. I was walking blue, and I got halfway almost to where the grass was, and I realized, man, my feet were burning. So, Logan, I got blisters from it.
Yeah.
So, hey, you ever want to know how hot Georgia gets? That's how hot Georgia gets.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I mean, that's the thing, especially with you, Jay, is that you tend to go places that are extremely hot with living in Georgia and then in Texas also. You just go wherever the heat is.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm serious, man. It's crazy. It's going to be weird, going from a pulled pork mentality to a brisket, back to my brisket roots, man.
Yeah,
but,
you got to switch it up.
Man, let's get into some stuff, man. Hey, man, let me bring it up before I do. Breaking sports, breaking news. Ron Burgundy, what's new? I'll tell you what's new, man. Amari Stoudemire. Jesus. Amari Stoudemire was arrested for hitting his daughter. They charged him with battery. I can't believe, so he has two daughters. One is 17, one is 14. We don't know which, they didn't specify, or at least I haven't seen where they specified which daughter got hit, but apparently they were talking on the phone. She was talking on the phone with her mother, and I guess she was, what Amari would say, was talking back to her mother. And then I guess when she got off to talk about it, I guess Amari didn't like what she was saying, so he hit her. Now listen, I get it, man. Sometimes you're going to slap a child, whatever. Hey, my mom slapped my mouth more than once when I was rude. So I get that night. But again, that was like early 80s. So I get that early 80s mentality. But, man, in 2022, and look, and number two, if you're going to, if that's your choice of how you're going to react to it, why the hell is she bleeding? Logan, I don't get it, man. I post this on I didn't post it. They posted on the morning show a while back, and they called me crazy because I was calling that child abuse, and they were, and it's not like they weren't calling it. They weren't saying it wasn't like abusive. But I think what Pride was saying was, I'm bringing up Pride's name. Pride said, "Well, look, he slapped her. And I get it, man. Hey, that was a slap. But if you know the world says, hey, if you slap somebody, that's considered assault.
Right.
And you got to go. I said, it's lucky he didn't, So, I mean, and I want to clarify that Pride never said that it was abuse, or that he never said that, or he said that what happened is abusive, but he was also defending the fact that, hey, parents have the right to slap their kids if they're saying some disrespectful stuff. And I get that. I'd love to slap my child, but you know what? That's called abuse, or that's called a battery. So you have to be careful about what you condone, and that was the point I was making. But Amari, come on, man, you're drawing blood. What the hell? Logan?
Yeah, and Jay, you know what the crazy part about that too is that he had just graduated earlier in the day from I believe from the University of Miami. He walked across the stage earlier that day, and just not even 24 hours later, he's in a jail cell.
So you cross the stage right into a jail cell. How much better does that get, Logan?
That it's and like I said, I mean, we don't know all the details. We just know that there was an altercation between him, one of the children. We don't know which age, and I'm assuming the mother as well. And I mean, Jay, like you said, times are definitely different from when you were growing up, when I was growing up, when Amari was growing up. And you just can't be doing that, man. You really can't, especially to draw blood as well. Yeah. I mean, that is severely crossing a line. And you just can't be doing that. It's shameful. And hopefully, he can go some counseling or do something. So this doesn't happen again, because that's just the lowest of low right there. You can't get much worse than that.
Oh, absolutely. And hey, here's our boy Gonzo. What's up, my brother?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, we're doing well. I'm still recuperating from my Cowboys loss, so it is what it is. I mean, hey, can't win them all, right, Gonzo?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Hey, yeah, that's it. I'll tell you, that's the new head coach of the Colts right there.
Hey, to catch you up to speed, man, we were talking about Amari. I know we talked about it on the morning show. I believe it was the other day. My biggest thing I was trying to make, Gonzo, I don't know how you felt about that whole conversation. My biggest thing I was saying was, back in the 80s, even into the 90s, if your daughter or son or whatever talked back to you, you could slap them. Hell, I had my face slapped more than once. But what I was trying to get them to understand was, we don't live in them time periods no more. We in 2022. And the minute you put your hand on somebody, hey, all it is one phone call, and away you go. But I don't know, man. What's your thoughts on it, man? What's your thoughts on Amari? I know we kind of talked about it, but is your thoughts still about the same?
I haven't really done more research on it, but in my opinion, there's no reason you should ever strike a kid in the face.
Right.
That's just
right.
I mean,
that's how it was back in our day, right? I mean, that's what mom and dad did. If dad saw you back talking your mom, well, there's probably a slap coming your way or something, maybe a belt or something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A belt to the ass is one thing, but when you might have broke your daughter's jaw, that's a totally different level.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. You know what was really weird?
No place for it.
I remember back in the day, punishment used to be, hey, you got to go eat we went a full bar of soap, but you at least got to take a bite out of the soap. You want to take at least a bite out. I don't think you could do that these days. I think now they tend to frown upon making your child eat a little bit of dial. I guess dial's not a good thing. I don't know. What a time we live in. Real quick, hey, Justin Turner. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hey, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I might look at it different too, because I'm older than a lot of the guys me and you're older than a lot of the guys that are on these shows, and I have a kid. I mean, my son's as old as a lot of the guys that we do shows with, and I couldn't imagine rearing back and almost or breaking my own kid's jaw. It just something about that.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, yeah, man, when you're bringing blood to the table, that's to me, it's just nuts. I mean, again, Amari, hey, you're going to have your day in court. You'll be able to explain your thing there, man. But, man, yeah. All right, let's talk real quick about Justin Turner, man. Gets a 2-year, $22 million deal with the Red Sox. I mean, honestly, how much more are these Dodgers going to let go of their players, man? I mean, this is just another guy to hop the fence, man. We saw Trey Turner not that long ago just signed with the Phillies, man. So I don't know, man. The guy is 38 too. I mean, he's not a spring chicken. He's 38. He's got a 278 average. They say that I guess they brought in JD Martinez to fill the role that Justin Turner is leaving. But what's y'all's thought process on the whole thing with the Dodgers, man? I mean, number one, what's your thought process on the Dodgers? And then what do you think about the Red Sox bringing in a 38-year-old player? Conzo?
I don't think it's a bad move for the Red Sox just because you didn't break the bank bringing him in. And
right.
he's a guy that when he gets hot offensively can produce a lot of RBIs for you. So even if you have to use him as he gets older in the DH role, I still think he could be effective there. The Dodgers, though, it's almost like they're just selling everything, but they're not bringing nothing back in the cupboard. So it's going to be interesting. That this is one of the first years in free agency they haven't really made a splash on anybody where it's been more of the Dodgers losing players than bringing in people. Maybe they're trying to get down where they're not paying luxury tax anymore or something. But
yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
It don't make a whole lot of sense because this isn't what I usually see from the Dodgers.
Oh, hell no. Logan, man, what's your thought process on Justin Turner? Was it a good move all the way around, or if not, who lost in this, or did anybody lose? Oh, Logan, you there? You're muted. He might be right back. We'll come back to him. We're going to get into this show. Logan, let me know when you're back. Hey, real quick. Oh, one more thing I wanted to talk about. Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr. Gore, where have we heard that name before? What a time to be alive, man. Hey, his son is right off the old block, right? I mean, hey, look, this guy broke the College Bowl rushing records for FBS. Excuse me, he went 21 attempts at 329 yards and 3 touchdowns for Southern Miss to get the win, 38-24 over Rice. Now, listen, he rushed on Rice University, which is an Ivy League school, by the way. So don't expect a lot of craziness of defense to come out that way. Still an impressive feat. I'm not going to take it away from him, but it would have been more impressive had he done that against Alabama or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. But, yeah, but he did do it. And, hey, regardless, hey, the man did it. He did get 164-yard touchdown in the second quarter. The previous record was 317 yards, and he actually broke that. So, man, Frank Gore Jr., man, following in daddy's footsteps. What do you think about that, Gonzo?
Man, to rush for over 300 and something yards on a team is pretty damn impressive. No matter how stout the team is, because I mean, you would think a high school team could keep somebody from running for one guy from getting 300 yards. But I'll tell you what, I've watched quite a bit of Frank Gore Jr. and I like what I see out of him. I think he'll find a way, or he'll find a home somewhere in the NFL and could have a productive career. I'm not going to say it's going to be as productive as his dad was, because I mean, his dad ranks top 10 in most categories. He was one of the few running backs that actually was able to sustain a high level for a long number of years. You know, I mean, he ran out of good.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, hey, let's be honest. The only way he's gonna catch his daddy is if he runs like 2,000 yards every season, or he plays 30 years. I mean, whatever comes first.
Yeah, his dad was a different mold. You didn't see running backs that played that long and could still be productive.
Yeah, that was nuts to me, the fact that he played for as long as he did. Logan, you still there? Are you back? He might be gone. If you're here, you're muted, but I don't think he's here. I think he's doing something in the background. No big deal. All right, man. Hey, we're going to jump right into NFL news, and we're going to start talking some football, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into some football, damn it. That's what they said last week. We're going to get into some football, man. First, I want to talk about lots of close games. Lots and lots and lots of close. How many wild games do we see? Well, there was the Cowboys that threw. I don't know if you saw that game, Gonzo, or not. Or I didn't get to watch it because it wasn't televised here. But I did see on one of the replays where the last play of the game in overtime, Dak threw the ball. It went through the receiver's hands. It went out of the receiver's hands and landed in the Jacksonville Jaguars' hands. And, of course, he took it in for a score. But, man, what a crazy way to end the game. Did you catch that one at all? I don't know if you caught the highlights on it or anything like that, but it was crazy.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights and stuff. I didn't get to see much of I didn't watch much of the game. But yes, I saw that highlight you're talking about. If I remember right, weren't the Cowboys up by like 17 or something like that?
No, they were up 21-7 going into the third quarter.
And we saw a lot of big comebacks this weekend. Like I think there was 3 comebacks over 17 points, and that was the first time in forever. One of them had to be my Colts that was up 33-0 and ended up losing. I still don't know how that happens. I think you could deliberately. You could take a team, give them a 33-point lead going into the second half, and you could deliberately try to lose the game. And I don't know if you lose that game. That's how bad of a collapse the Colts had. It was just.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was. I mean, you know what though, man? Hey, like I said earlier, man, and I think a lot of people realize, man, Minnesota's offense is just fine. It's their defense that just kills them every damn time. They have a hard time stopping the run, and their secondary is just crazy. I mean, I think that's where you burn them is in that secondary.
It was, oh man, I don't know. It was a tale of two halves. That was for damn sure.
Oh, it was definitely a tale of two halves.
I watched most of the first half, and then me and Dad left because we had a wrestling show that evening, and we listened to it on the radio on the road, and it was getting ready to go in the fourth quarter, and I looked at Dad and said, "We're going to lose this game." I mean, it was just the whole second half. I don't know. It don't make no sense how a team can play that good in the first half and then look that bad in the second half.
Hey, listen. I come from a long line.
You see it all the time. That's what's
the second halves. Huh? Hey, I'm just saying, Cowboys come from a long line of great first halves. And then sometimes we come off a long line of crappy first halves and then stellar second halves. For example, last year when we played the 49ers, horrible first half, came back to the second half, but just ran out of time, literally ran out of time and just couldn't get it done. But so, yeah, man, look, it happens. It happens all the time, man. I mean,
I know it happens all the time.
But Atlanta in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, it happens all the time, but it makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't know if it's a lack of energy, a lack of play calling, or just flat out cruise control. We got it made, and all of a sudden you realize, you don't have it made.
Nope, you're fucked.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, look,
But there was a lot of
that Dallas game just hurt me, man. That Dallas game hurt my heart, man.
There was a lot of good games though this weekend. Besides, you did have the collapse by the Colts, the Dallas collapse, but I mean, a lot of close games. Even the Monday night game last night wasn't terrible.
The Monday night game was crazy. Before we go to that, I got to go back real quick. Jacksonville now is half a game out of first, bro.
Yeah, and Tennessee's on a 4-game losing streak.
All I know is don't be surprised if Jacksonville sneaks into the playoffs. I'm just saying, man. Don't be surprised if they sneak into the playoffs. God, what a time to be alive, man. Yeah, and then we talked about the Monday night. No, what was that?
I think the Jacksonville has a good chance of sneaking in. I think the Chargers have a real good chance of.
Getting in the playoffs. I think the Chargers are in right now.
Yeah, they're in right now. They play the Colts Monday night.
No, but I think they're currently in the wild card right now.
Yeah, I think they are currently now. They've got
Because
their way back.
New England lost. Yeah, New England lost and Chargers won. So in essence, they basically swapped spots.
How about that game? What the hell was Jacoby Myers
Yeah,
thinking?
man. Hey, I wish Logan was here, man. I would roast Logan so hard right now. I would roast him so hard. Hey, it was a valiant effort. No, I wouldn't roast Logan. I'm sorry, excuse me. I would roast Frankie. I'm sorry, Logan. Calm down. I would roast Frankie so hard, but Frankie ain't coming on this one because he knows, hey, Jay gonna be unmerciful. I don't know. Look, did you see the look on Bill Belichick's face as they were tossing his ball backwards and forwards? And all you're thinking is like, dude, just take a knee. Go into overtime. It's okay.
They were playing like they were losing the game. They weren't playing like it was a tie game. And I told Dad.
And I think that's what makes you feel so bad for the Patriots is they're trying to win the game, and all you're thinking of is, bro, just take a damn knee.
They showed that replay because I forget what game we was watching. I think we had it on the Charger game. And then they showed the replay of how that game ended because I was keeping track of it. And I said, well, the Raiders won. And they showed that replay. I told Dad, I said, that dude's going to be lucky to have a job Monday morning.
Right. Well, hey, real quick, let's talk about this Lions and Jets real fast. Because that was Wilson's first game back. And now that Mike White's on the injury list, they didn't come away with the win. They actually came away with the loss. But, I thought Wilson looked pretty good. He threw for 317, 2 touchdowns and a pick. I really thought the special teams hurt them when they gave up that touchdown. And I also thought I felt like the Jets O-line gave up a lot when they allowed those 4 sacks. So, yeah, man, I wonder, the Jets are now tied, I believe, with New England. I wonder if Wilson's job is truly in jeopardy, or do you think when Mike White comes back that they slide Mike White back into the starting role?
I don't know. The way Wilson's playing, I can see them maybe sticking with Wilson. I know Salah said the whole time that he planned on having Wilson back as the starter, even when he demoted him all the way down and not even suiting up. It's weird to me why a lot of the media, it seems like when you listen to guys on the radio and TV, how these guys love to hate on Wilson. I mean, he didn't play that bad of a game Sunday. And then now that they're saying that he's going to start the next game because Mike White still isn't cleared, and you got all these people. Oh well, Wilson's starting, so I'm going with the other team. It's like I don't want with the other team, no matter who was starting at.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't understand all the hate on Zach Wilson. What is he now? 5-3 as a starter this year. I mean, he was not. He has a winning record as a starter. And he got benched. How many quarterbacks get benched when they have winning records as a starter? So I mean,
no, I get it. And again, I mean, I think a lot of people get bad raps, right? Kirk Cousins is still getting a bad rap, but Kirk Cousins, he came away with the win. I know the Colts came in there, but he came away with the win. Now, Kirk Cousins, he deserves some of the flack that he gets, but I still think Kirk Cousins, he could take you to the Super Bowl. I really believe he can.
Yeah, I think Cousins gets a bad rap too. I don't understand why some of these guys get raps like that when they really haven't done nothing really to deserve it.
Well, it's true. I mean, honestly, you look at the Lions and the Jets now, and they're both 7-7. And they're both on the brink of a wild card right now. Honestly, the fight's not over. They're still in the fight. So, I mean, there's a lot of, like I said, man, like this season is just crazy. It's left, it's right, it's up, it's down. Nobody looks like a clear-cut favorite. Yes, the records will reflect that, Chiefs, and so forth have great records, but there's no clear-cut favorite to the Super Bowl.
Who do you like in that game, the Lions and the Jets?
Obviously, it was the Lions, because if you look at the Jets only gave you 22 carries, and all they got in return was 50 yards. That tells you right there, I don't want the Jets because they have no freaking run game. So, and then, I don't know what Breece Hall would have done if he'd have been there, but I know Knight and Carter just didn't get the job done. in all honesty.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then, okay, so then let's look over, like you said, to the Raiders. I do want to talk about one thing with the Raiders and the Panthers game. Mac Jones just looked terrible. He went 13 of 31, and he only got to 112 yards. Against the Raiders. He should be able to get a little bit better than that on the Raiders. The more I think about it, the more I'm just not sold on Mac Jones being the guy. I mean, what do you think? And again, I don't know how much of this is Mac Jones's fault and how much it's the lack of having an offensive coordinator's fault. I mean, what do you think about that whole Patriots mess?
It's crazy. I don't understand what Belichick has going on over there. When it comes to Mac Jones, I think it's a combination of maybe both.
Right.
Because after you saw him last year as a rookie, I was expecting pretty. I'm not saying real big things, but I was expecting even more an improvement.
Right. Absolutely.
It's been more of a digression, and the common denominator in that is that McDaniels isn't there no more, and instead of having an offensive coordinator that kind of put the system around you that was going to let you play your best. Now you have a guy that's been a defensive coordinator his whole career, other than when he tried to be a head coach with the Lions. I say tried because he didn't do nothing over there. And then you're splitting the responsibility between him and a guy that's been a special teams coach his whole career. So you have two guys that have never called offensive plays before. Well, now you got a sophomore quarterback who should be going up on a rise, but instead of having that comfortable zone that he had with McDaniels, or having somebody in there that is competent to help groom a young quarterback, your quarterback don't believe in the guys that are supposed to be leading them, and I think that's a lot of this problem is. And you see it on him on the sideline, like, let's push the ball down the field. His philosophy and the philosophy of Patricia and Judge aren't matching up. And I think Belichick's going to have to make a change here at the end of the season and bring.
Well, he has no choice. I cannot imagine. I can't imagine him going in next season with having two defensive coordinators be your offensive coordinator. I cannot imagine that. For the life of me, that would happen. But
there's been a big digression in Mac Jones from last year to this year.
Oh, absolutely,
it's unreal.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's what keeps me on the fence, saying, like, it's not really. I don't think it's 100% Mac Jones' fault per se, because I think some of it is a lot of it has to do with the play calling and the lack of development. Because what can a defensive guy teach a quarterback? And I mean, you can't really do a whole lot. So. Yeah, man, I think Mac Jones's his ability to grow is severely limited with New England Patriots until they can bring in somebody that can actually develop him or at least call the right plays. Oh my God, jeez Louise, man. Bengals and Bucks, man. Woo! 34-23. Burrow. Another monster game, right? 250 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick, man. Wow. I mean, it's insane to me. That's insane to me. Brady went 30 of 44 with 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. Man.
That was another game that was a tale of two halves. Tampa Bay in the first half played like a perfect half of football. Was up like I think 17-0 at one point on the Bengals. And then the second half, Tampa Bay couldn't do nothing right. You mentioned a couple interceptions by Brady. He also had at least 1 fumble, maybe 2. It was just it was a tale of two halves. Tampa Bay looked like the team that a lot of people thought Tampa Bay would look like in that first half of the game, but then they went back to Tampa Bay of 2022 for the second half of the game. And the Bengals got
that was the thing, right? There's only so much you can do, man. I mean, it's hard to keep coming from behind all the time. I mean, there's a few teams that did it, but that's not necessarily always the norm.
No, not the norm at all.
What a crazy time we live in. And then you roll over. Excuse me. Well, before we go there, what does that mean now when you got the Bucks and the Panthers when you got the Bucks and the Panthers basically fighting for their playoff lives. I mean, do you think the Bucks get in? Do you think the Panthers get in? Who comes out of that division? Because I don't think that's a clear-cut division at all.
What's crazy is the Saints are still in play.
Jeez Louise, man. How does that even come to fruition that we're talking about the Saints in the playoffs right now? I mean, that to me is crazy.
And then you have both. You had I was saying the Panthers was the team I thought, but then the Panthers went and didn't look good really at all against the Steelers and lost that game. And they got lucky because Tampa Bay lost as well. I'm going to say Tampa just because of Tom Brady. It's hard to bet against Brady, but like I said, even the Saints are back in play to try to win that division. So who knows what's going to happen?
You know what's interesting? The only thing that helped the Bucks out is the fact that Carolina lost as well. Had Carolina won that game, there would have been a tie for first, honestly. Or it probably would have came down to conference. But either way, you're looking at the same record, and then you go again. I mean, at this point, who do you have more faith in to win? I got more faith almost in Carolina than I do in Tom Brady and the Bucks, which is crazy considering the run game and the receivers and so forth that Tampa has. No,
I know it's. I don't understand what the disconnect with Tampa has been this year.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if it's that offensive line. Well, look,
are you telling me that
Brady doesn't do well?
Are you telling me are you telling me that they miss Bruce Arians that much? I mean, that's the main difference.
It's what it seems. Well, but I do think that O-line, I still think the O-line is what's given.
Yeah, they've had some injuries at O-line, but I mean, if you look at personnel wise, you don't have Gronkowski, but Arians isn't there no more. And even the defense don't look like it did last year.
And I'm not really I'm not really big on Tom Bowles being a head coach, but it is what it is. But I think if I was going to put a head coach, I probably would have gave it to Byron Leftwich before I put Todd Bowles over there, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I mean, can't go bad. But yeah, man, that's crazy. So now you got Tennessee versus San Diego. And of course, Tennessee, correct me if I'm wrong, did they get the win on that one? Was it 17-14 Tennessee, or did San Diego get that one?
Chargers won.
Okay. I didn't get the score on that game. I thought it was Tennessee, but I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Chargers, I know. So I guess I know that San Diego got 14. What did Tennessee? Was it 14-12? Is that what the final score was?
No, it was 17-14 Chargers. Chargers kicked
Okay. Well,
Chargers kicked the field goal as time was running out to win the game.
Okay. And like I said, I didn't get to see that game. Did you watch that game? Because I heard Herbert, I looked at his stat lines, and it doesn't look like he did very well. He went, 28, 42, 313, and 2 picks. So it looks like Herbert has some issues. Again, I didn't see it. Did you catch any of that game at all? Shit. Melanie had me working all damn week, man. I couldn't catch any of these damn games.
Yeah, I watched some of the game. Couple of the picks were off deflections. I'll tell you what, Herbert made some throws in that game where it's like, man, it seems like the Chargers always find ways to let a team stay around in the game, and it almost cost them. The Titans scored with about 45, 50 seconds left to tie the game up.
Right.
They were the Chargers was able to go down and get a field goal to get a big win. I'm just not sold on the Chargers coach. And it might not be the head coach as much as their play calling. Their play calling don't make a lot of sense with Joe Lombardi at the offensive coordinator. I think they need to bring somebody else in there because when you watch them play, it just don't. A lot of times it don't make no sense. But the Chargers are starting to get healthier at the right time with getting Williams and Allen and them guys back in the mix. So that'll really help them offensively.
Hey, real quick. So Carlos Correa, introduction for medical concern or intro for medical concern. So it looks like the Correa to San Francisco could be on the hinges depending on his medical exam. I wonder I haven't had a chance to really read the article, but I saw that come across on my ticker. So I don't know, man. Be look out there for Correa and see what's going on with him out there in San Fran. But apparently that's not a 100% done deal until I guess they figure out what this medical issue is.
And then you had the Ravens pick up Sammy Watkins today after.
Yes, I saw that. And I wonder how that's going to help. I wonder how much he's going to help Lamar when Lamar is Lamar. Do we even know when Lamar? Nobody even knows when Lamar's going to be back, do they? They said what a couple of weeks?
I'd heard this week, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, so then you got Huntley running the ball. So I mean, it's good. I mean, Sammy Watkins, he can catch the ball. He can. He's a mid-level guy. Probably not going to cost you too much.
I think it was a good pickup for them because of some of the injuries they've had at wide receiver position.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think it was a good move for them to at least to add who you could to try to make a push here at the end. But if they don't have Lamar Jackson on the field, they're not going anywhere fast.
Oh hell no. No, I trust me. After the last game that we saw, he wasn't really against the Browns. I say they should. I mean, they had issues there. I know isn't J.K. Dobbins? He's back. He's healthy, right?
He's back and he's been running the ball well.
Yeah. So real quick, we're gonna talk real quick. Giants and Commanders, and then I want to get into that Monday night game too. Giants and Commanders, man. Hey, that was a big one. That was huge because since I believe that since the Giants won that game over the Commanders, I think it allows the Commanders to stay in. I think it allows them to stay in the rankings or I think in the wild card spot. I don't think that got taken over because I know they were on the brink of Seattle possibly stepping back into that role. Let me look at that real quick. Let's see here. Let me go to the playoffs.
I'll tell you what, man. The referees were terrible in that game. That was clearly a pass in the end zone at the end of that game on a pass that could have tied that game up. Or, would have been a 2-point conversion away from tying that game up. But referees were and referees have been bad all season. Is it just me, or does it seems like the referees?
No, they've been bad all season. There's been
referees have stood out. They've stood out more this year than any other year in a while.
Oh no, it's been rough, and I'm really surprised they haven't used their replay more. But yeah, it's been pretty rough. So just so you're tracking, Detroit and Seattle are both 7-7. Yeah. Now Seattle does own the tie over Detroit. So, but anyway, hey, Detroit, Seattle, they're only a half game out.
I don't know how much that Giants and Washington game you watched, but the referees were terrible in that game. Referees really helped the Giants out in that game.
Yeah, I wonder if it is kind of rigged a little bit, man. I don't think it's rigged, Damien. I don't think it is. I know it may appear that way, but I don't think it is. But at the other end of the stick, though, man, when you do see a lot of missed calls, like what you're talking about, it does kind of make you tend to wonder, like, what's really going on? Because, 1 or 2, okay, I get it. But when you have, like, 4 or 5 games affected with bad officiating,
well, I think they need to change the replay.
Yeah.
You still only get 2 challenges, but you should be able to challenge a penalty. If a referee calls a pass interference, you should be able to challenge it. If you don't make a pass interference, or if they don't call one, you should be able to challenge it. Or a holding call. Sometimes you see holding calls that don't get called that are way worse than ones that they call earlier in the game.
And isn't that also the one? Correct me if I'm wrong.
And this is something else I think needs changed. If a holding takes place on the other side of the field from where the ball's at and has nothing to do with the play,
right?
Why call it? There's no reason to call it. It didn't affect the play. Only call the penalties that affect the play, not ones that are on the other side of the damn field.
All that little ticky-tack. Yeah, all that little ticky-tack stuff. But again, they say if he's holding on a receiver, I mean that could have affected.
Like a receiver, yeah. I mean, like you'll see one.
No, if it's like the offensive lineman, like away from it, and then run his whole. Yeah, it's not gonna do nothing. But again, hey, Heineke, man, he got off to a rough start, man. He did have some fumbles in there, and that goal line thing, man, with Thibodeau. Come on, man, you got to protect the ball better when you're on the goal line.
Washington's thinking about maybe going back to Carson Wentz.
I don't know, man. If they want to go back to Carson Wentz, whatever, they're certainly paying Carson Wentz more than what they're paying Heineke. I think it's a horse apiece. honestly. I don't think Wentz is better than Heineke at that spot, or Heineke is better than Wentz. I think you're going to get the same result no matter which quarterback is in there, to be honest with you.
I think they look better when Heineke's in there myself.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna argue that either. I mean, at the same time, I mean, I'm not definitely.
Not that either one of them are like world beaters, but I think the offense looks a little more lively when Heineke's in there.
Well, that's true. They do. Now, here's the deal, man. So then we roll into Green Bay versus the Rams, like we talked about, and obviously you know how close that game was. That obviously the Rams didn't get the win, but what light do you think it puts on Baker Mayfield and Sean McVay's eyes after this? So you got the win, you get to almost win, but you lose to the Packers, and you know the Packers aren't exactly playing their best football. What is it now? What do you think Sean McVay is going to think now of Baker? Any less, any more, or status quo?
I think it probably stays about the same because I mean they were playing in a game where it was like 10 degrees outside, so you got to battle that mental aspect of it. Baker didn't play terrible. Yeah, he had a couple. I know at least one interception, and he had one that was basically because his arm got hit as he was throwing.
Right.
But the main thing with the Rams was their defense couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
Dillon for Green Bay was killing them until he got hurt, and then Aaron Jones kept it going when Dillon got hurt, and then you had Aaron Rodgers make some big throws in some key spots, and they were able to get by the Rams. But I don't think it really changes much for McVay looking at Baker, and I don't think it should change much of like the outside perception of Baker. He didn't play terrible. He played well enough to give him a chance to win, but it just the defense couldn't hold up enough. And then they're in offense, they couldn't make some big plays when they needed to.
Yeah, I get that, but again, Baker had a very, very modest day with 111 yards and a touch and a pick. I mean, and I don't know how much of that was offensive line, how much of it he did get sacked 5 times. So I guess trying to tell you a little bit about the offense, but at the same time, I mean, I know one of those picks, the guy hit his arm, and I think he kind of threw it short, and he got picked off. I mean, so I don't know how much of that was really his fault necessarily, but definitely, he didn't have a very good day throwing the ball. I mean, he went 12 of 20, 12 of something. I think it was like
he didn't look real great.
I mean, 111 yards. I mean, is that more to do with the O-line? Is it to do with play calling, or just the fact that Cooper Kupp wasn't out there?
I think a lot of it was the O-line. Green Bay's defensive line was getting pressure all night long. So he never really was comfortable back there in that pocket the whole game. So I think it was more of the O-line's the protection than it was anything.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that hasn't always been, the case, for the Rams in terms of the O-line. But again, they lost some people too over the offseason. So I think that people say, well, how do the Rams go from this spot to this spot? And I'll tell you, it's injuries and people leaving. I mean, they had one guy last year that what was he like 41, and he finally called it a day and hung it up. And then, you just had a rash of injuries. You had Cooper Kupp. Losing Cooper Kupp was huge.
Yes.
That was huge. And the fact that they still haven't really truly solidified that run game back, there's a lot of things that really happened over the offseason that the Rams are really paying for dearly in the regular season that, which is why they, still aren't going to make the playoffs. What a time to be alive, man. Damn. Oh, I can't wait till next week. Bring on next week, damn it. Morant tossed for questioning the refs' integrity. I don't know if you heard about this, man, but basically, John Morant said a few curse words and then basically was ejected just before halftime. And they wound up losing that game to OKC, 115-109. But again, he got called for a second technical foul. I would imagine the first technical was when he used profanity, and the second technical most likely was when he questions his integrity. I don't know, man. I don't. It didn't really say what he said in particular to the ref, in the article that I read on it. But Wow, man. How crazy is that? You get ejected for basically cursing at him and then questioning who he is as a ref.
Huh. I'm gonna have to read more into that. That's kind of funny because from what I'm seeing, it sounds like he got like 2 technicals real quick.
Yeah,
He-
that's what I'm
he
saying.
must-
It happens super quick.
I don't know what he said, but he had to say something that got under that referee's skin pretty bad.
Hey, I would imagine it to be something like, if I had to look at this picture and tell you, hey, what was John Morant saying to the ref? It would be, hey, are you fucking blind? He was fouled. and then I'm just saying, man, if you look at the picture, that's what it reminds me of, man. I mean, there's no telling what that man said, but whatever he said, he got him 2 quick personal fouls, though, and an ejection. I don't know, man. Hey, if you're playing a basketball game, I get it cursing, but why are you going to question a man's integrity while you're playing the game? If you're going to say anything, man, hey,
get this though.
Say it to somebody else.
The official explanation for his early exit was that Morant was ejected for making derogatory comments about the officials to fans sitting courtside at the game. So he was telling the fans how bad the referees were, and the referee tossed them.
Oh, so you know what he might be saying right there? He might be saying, hey, look, even that freaking guy can see that it wasn't a freaking foul.
So,
what a time to be alive, man.
He got tossed for complaining to the fans about the referees. I mean, come on.
That's honestly, look, that is so ticky that I'm sorry, but that ref needs to get over his feelings. Yeah. Hey, that ref needs to get over his feelings. If you're that sensitive, you don't need to be in the world of sports. God, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Jeez, man. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. John
Morant said he got his first tech for saying I got hit in my effing face. Morant said didn't curse at him. Morant told reporters, and he said, and he got another one because of talking to the fans.
Oh, so what he was doing, he was complaining about getting hit to his face to a fan, and then the refs basically took it like, oh, this dude's out here talking to the refs about us, questioning my integrity. God, I can't say the word on air, but you can imagine it rhymes with wussy.
Oh yeah,
wussy.
That referee needs to get out. That referee needs to get out of his feelings.
Bro, could you imagine this ref back at a time when the likes of Lambeer and the Pistons back in the day that were playing? Bro, his feelings would have been hurt probably every night. And Michael Jordan and all them. Jordan probably would have been crying every night.
Jordan would have made this dude piss himself.
Oh, dude. Seriously, man. I'm just saying, man. Come on. Get a life. Boxing top 12 list, pound for pound. Gonzo, you're the residential boxing expert. I have my list, but I want you to read off your list, and then I'm going to look at my list and see where my guys fall in on your list, as if I did a good job or a shitty job. So give me what your 12 best fighters are, pound for pound.
I don't have a list.
Again, this is current present day, not like all time, but just present day boxers, pound for pound. Who's your best?
I'll be honest with you, I don't have a list, but I think Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight right now, pound for pound. I'm really looking forward to seeing him fight Usyk to unify the titles and be the maybe the first undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis. There's a guy I like watching that Shakur Stevenson fight. I don't know if he's on. Yeah, I really like him. Trying to think some of the other young guys that I've been watching.
What about Errol Spence? He's like 28-0, and he's got I think he's got what, IBF, WBA, and WBC welterweights. I mean, he's looking pretty legit.
Yeah, Spence Jr.'s tough. Read your list off.
So, okay, so I put Tyson Fury number 1 just because Tyson hasn't lost, and I've seen a couple of his fights, and that dude is just like Logan always says. excuse me, I think you said it too. As big as he is and as fast as he is, it's incredible that he can move around and do the things that he does, but still has the power behind the punch to knock some of these guys down. It's just it's incredible.
Yeah.
So I do have Fury at number 1. At number 2, I did put Errol Spence there at 28-0. I thought he did pretty well. And then at number 3, I put, and I know I'm going to say his name wrong, Inove. Is it Inove? Inove?
I'm not sure.
It's Inove. I always say his name wrong, but when I was looking at, when I was reading up on him, though, he's undisputed champion for his weight class. He's 24-0. I don't know, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but so I got him at number 3. At number 4, I got Terrence Crawford at 39-0. At number 5, I put Canelo Alvarez there, and then at number 6, I got Dimitri Bivol, the WBA light heavyweight, and then at number 7, I got Devin Haney, 29-0, the undisputed lightweight, and then this is where it gets kind of interesting for me. I do have Josh Taylor, the WBO lightweight champ as well. And then I have Shakur Stevenson at 19-0 at number 10. 11, I got Juan Estrada, the WBC super flyweight. And then at number 12, I got Janelle Charlo, the undisputed super welterweight, at 35-1-1 was his record. So that's the 12 that I have.
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good 12. I'm also interested to see if Tyson Fury fights this Joe Joyce. I think that'd be good just because Joyce.
But do you think? But in order to unify and become the undisputed, he's got to fight Usyk. I don't know how Usyk is not the next fight for Tyson Fury. Like, why would they agree for Fury to fight anybody? It's got to be this guy so they can unify the belts for the first time since before Frankie was even born.
That's what you would think, but hell, Fury just got done fighting some dude. So I was like, why is he fighting this guy for? But
I don't understand it. I mean, the logical sense is that Fury and Usyk would fight each other because let's be honest, there's nobody in the heavyweight boxing world right now that can beat Tyson Fury.
I know Fury said he wanted to fight Usyk, and if Usyk wouldn't fight him, that he would fight Joyce. And then he's talking about fighting Wilder again after those fights. I don't even care about seeing him and Wilder fight.
Do you think that Usyk is afraid to fight Tyson Fury and lose all those crowns? Do you think that's why they haven't fought yet?
I don't think he's afraid. I'm not sure. It sounds like they're going to get one made for this upcoming year, and it looks like they might do it in Saudi, and it'll be a big money fight. And Usyk's a guy that used to be like a lightweight, and he's moved up. I mean, he's moved up weight classes.
Yeah, I know they're going to go to Saudi because of the money, but it really pisses me off because I feel like that fight should be in Vegas. Honestly, I feel like it should be on the U.S. soil and it should be in Vegas. But I know look, you go where the money's at, and if they want to do it in Saudi because they think the money's better in Saudi, I mean, I get that too.
Or if they done it in the UK, hell, that one last fight that the Fury had against Wilder, there was over 100. They had 100,000 people in Wembley Stadium.
I can see it. And let me ask you this: and do you think they put it like in a place like Saudi Arabia because number one, probably the Saudis will pay more to have the fight there, and then number two, how many people around the world are going to ever make their way over to Saudi to go see that fight? So you get basically all of Europe and you get all of the U.S. And I guess what I'm saying is if they go to Saudi, I wonder if it's going to drive up if they do it so it drives up the pay-per-view because they know that people just can't up and go to Saudi Arabia for crying out loud.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of it. Plus, I think it's around where Usyk is from. So he's even a bigger star over there than what he is here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and in the storyline of Fury going to his territory to fight him and become the undisputed, you know how boxing likes to build them storylines up to the fights. But
absolutely,
I hope it happens because we see it. And it's the thing that's hurt boxing in the past is you don't see a lot of the big fights until guys are past their prime.
Right.
And I think that really hurts. Like Pacquiao and Mayweather, we never got to see Pacquiao and Mayweather when both of them were at their prime.
Yeah, we saw them.
We saw
them
Mayweather in
handing
his
out the
time
door.
versus the Pacquiao that was aging. So I mean, it happens.
I would love to see
a
prime Pacquiao versus a prime Mayweather. Would have been amazing.
I think that's what hurts boxing is a lot of times we don't get to see the fights until it's guys are past their prime.
And that's it, right? I mean, like I said, the belt hasn't been unified since before Frankie was born, way back in a day. So why not have that fight? Why not unify these guys to help the sport of boxing to see if somebody can actually, unless they're, like I said, unless there's other outlying issues that I don't know. I just don't understand why this fight. It would be a big pay-per-view and a big success for boxing if they had this fight. You know what I mean?
Another thing about boxing is there's too many damn titles.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. There's I don't even know, man. Like I know Logan was naming. I think you named off a bunch. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we named off what 6 or 7 organizations. I think that are out there roughly.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, need to get back to where
capture.
The titles mean more when there's less of them. The more titles there are, the more kind of watered down it gets. You know what I mean?
That's what I feel like too. I agree with you. Absolutely. I think I think it should just be 1, maybe 2, maybe WBO and WBC. I don't know, but then they got IBC. It's crazy how many damn. It's crazy how I don't know why you need an international boxing committee when you already have a world boxing committee. Doesn't world encompass international?
You would think, and yeah, you would think it would encompass.
I don't understand why you need an international when you already got a world. I don't understand. I mean, did the international people outside the U.S. I mean, is it basically the country or the country of the United States, and then everybody else is the world?
Yeah.
Or international? I don't get. Whatever.
And I don't understand why you can't have one main organization. You can still have your other ones, but have your one that's like your main one where that's the the most prestigious. Like you have for example, like you have the NBA. Well, then you have other basketball leagues, but they're not as big as the NBA. Or even like in MMA, you have the UFC is like the number one promotion.
Right.
Then you have Bellator and some of these other promotions where fighters can still go fight and make money, but it's not considered that top level like UFC is.
I get it.
I think that's what boxing is missing. Where if you had that one top organization where all the best fighters were at, and then you had these other organizations where guys were trying to work their way up, I think it'd make boxing a little more interesting to some people again.
Damn, John Monroe says, old school boxer I hated / despised after the no mas match. Durant gave up. Yeah, he did give up, but it is what it is, man. Yeah, Roberto Duran, man. Jeez, Louis. We just had his son on here. It seemed like too long ago. Maybe a few months back, we had Robert Duran Jr. on here, who's currently boxing. I believe he's boxing somewhere out of Florida. But, damn, what a time to be alive, man. Damn. All right. And then I wanted to kind of talk about this a little bit. We've talked about this before, but I wanted to revisit this again because when we talked about it the first time, there was no NIL, and I think the transfer portal had just come into play. But I wonder why are bowl players who are now getting paid NIL money, if you're not getting paid NIL money, okay, I get why you would sit out because you want to preserve yourself before you go to the NFL draft. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to take risks. I get it. I'm with you. I'm on board. The problem I have is if you are an NIL athlete, which I would imagine most of these notable guys are at some level NIL athletes. For whatever, if they're not, I can't imagine why they wouldn't be. But again, if you're getting paid NIL money, then if I'm your endorser, I would expect you to be playing in a bowl game because I'm paying you for endorsements and I'm paying you for all these things. You know what I mean? Let me get into the names that I thought were notable, and then Gonzo, I want to get your thoughts and opinions on these athletes that are probably getting paid NIL money, does it change your mindset on if they should or should not play in bowl games? Quarterback Malik Cunningham, Louisville, Will Levis, Kentucky, Anthony Richardson, Florida, and Miles Murphy out of Clemson. He's an edge rusher. Beyond Robinson, the running back from Texas. Joey Porter, Penn State. BJ Ujulani, I hope I say his name right. LSU edge rusher. Josh Downs, wide receiver for UNC. Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver out of Tennessee. And then that's all the ones that's all the notable ones I saw that I wrote down. But again, what do you think about this, man?
I don't like that the players sit out of these bowl games. I've always been one of the guys where if you're playing, I mean, to me, you're letting your teammates down. It's a team game. I think I'm hoping that maybe expanding the playoffs will stop some of this because now you'll have more teams that are still have something to play for, and maybe the guys will play. But it's also like you said, these NIL deals. If I'm paying a player all this money for NIL, I want them out. I want them out there on game day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So you can see that maybe started affecting some of it too. But I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of sitting out these games. I mean, to me, you're part of the team. If the team has a game, you should be playing with your team.
Yeah, no doubt, and that's what I'm saying. I think number one, when the ball players sit out, I think the fans, that want to pay their money because they want to come out and see, all their favorite players or whatever, and then they find out they're not playing in the bowl games. Again, I think it destroys the students who go to the university. It takes away from their pride in their university because their top players aren't out there playing. So then it's going to affect their bowl game. Can they win their bowl game? I got a big thing with that, man. And I think overall it really hurts the game of college football when your best players or some of your best players, are sitting out these bowl games, which is what everybody from the day you step in and start watching this team on game one, practice one, if you go to their, because a lot of these colleges will have fan appreciation day. You can go meet the players. And so you get, you buy into all the hoopla of it. And then you watch your favorite players sit out the bowl game, and you're like, well, what the hell? Yep. I don't know. For me, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Again, if you're not making NIL money, and you plan to go in the NFL draft, I do have compassion for that. I would say, okay, look, I get it, man. You're not getting paid by the college. You're not getting paid by NIL. You are getting a free scholarship, but let's be honest. I can go to NFL, and then my first year, I've already paid my college tuition, and I probably paid for a brand new home. So I think the athletes probably like, screw you. I don't need your attendance money. What I need is the exposure. So if I'm college and I'm giving out these contracts, I mean, I don't know. Or I shouldn't say even college. I think it's really more the endorsements, right? So if I'm quote unquote Nike and I'm giving Malik Cunningham, $2 or $3 million in an NIL deal. If I'm Nike, I'm like, hey, you're going to sign this contract saying you will be in a bowl game if your team is in a bowl game. Like, you know what I mean? Or I'm not going to give you the money. But man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Yeah, I just feel like if you sign a contract, you should obligate yourself to complete that contract, especially if you're being paid for it. Because now you're not a college athlete. Now you're a professional employee of Nike or representative of Nike. You know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%.
He says, so Damian Hernandez has his 12. He's got Fury, Stevenson, Spence at number 3. 4 is Canelo. 5 is Ruiz. 6 is Crawford. 7 is Triple G. And 8 is Roberto Duran Jr. Look, I like Roberto Duran Jr., so I'm not going to say anything. I support Roberto Duran Jr. and all that he does, but that's – anyway. Number 9 is Anthony Joshua, and number 10 is Usyk. Oh, Jesus, now you lost me. Number 11 is Lomachenko, and number 9 is Jamal Charlotte. Well, there's a few in there that I'll agree with you, but a lot of it I don't agree with, and I'm pretty sure Gonzo's like, why did you put that up there? And then Damon goes on to say, I think it's okay to sit out some of these players, especially they're a prospect of the draft. I get that. If you play the player can get in. I get that. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about NIL money. If a player is getting paid NIL money, then he should play because he's getting paid for his time. Just took a Tevin, but just look at I get it. That's the Bears that didn't even get to play. I get that. I get that. And again, I've said it before. If you're not being paid by the school in terms of endorsement deals, then yeah, you have the ability to opt out if you're planning on going to the draft and so forth. But at the same time, if you're being paid by NIL deals, and let's be honest, Gonzo, damn good and well, these universities are setting up NIL deals for these athletes. If you don't think that these schools are almost a middleman, if not, quote unquote, an agent for these guys, then you're sadly mistaken. And then, which is another reason why I feel like they should play, because these schools are getting you NIL deal money. They're getting you, full ride scholarships. I mean, what more do you want? Why are you not playing? And let's be honest, Gonzo, these dudes aren't worrying about that when they're in their sophomore year, right? They're going out there, they're playing their whole heart out. They don't give a damn until it gets to their junior year. Now it's, oh my God, and all of a sudden now it's like, I want to hold back. I just don't like it. I don't like the whole thing, man. I think the whole thing just stinks. If it was me, I would tell the NFL, if I was the NFL, I'd be like, if you want to come to play for the NFL, you first have to go through 4 years of college, damn it.
And I think
4 years of playing.
And I think that's why you're going to see there's going to have to be some kind of regulations put on NIL here in the future, because I don't think it's going to be sustainable, the format they have it now, where it's basically no rules, it's just a free for all. I think you're going to see some kind of rules and regulations coming out on it here in the future.
And yeah, and again, if we start expanding. If we start expanding to 12 teams or 8 teams or whatever they're going to do, what are we going to say when, these players start opting out of these bowl games, right? Or these national games? I mean, what if we get to the national title and we got people opting out? My point is this. College is already watered down enough. How much more is it going to get watered down if we continue to lose, if they continue to lose players that aren't playing in bowl games? Like, do you really care about a bowl game if people are sitting out? I'm not. If you're sitting out, if my best players are sitting, okay, watch this. I'll take, for example, Will Levis isn't playing for Kentucky. How many people are going to go to Kentucky games or are going to care about whatever bowl game that Will Levis is in if he's not out there, if Kentucky's there? You know what I'm like? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I think it just affects a lot of stuff. And now it's like, you look at college football and you're like, yeah, it's just another professional sports franchise.
Yeah. Almost kind of like the load management issue with the NBA.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's load freaking management like the NBA. I'm just saying, it used to be a time when I would love to watch college football. But now that these guys are professionally sitting out, it's just, and especially if they get NIL deal money. Okay. I mean, I understand it if you're not getting paid. I get it. You got to look out for yourself. You're trying to get the next round of money. But if I'm sitting there paying you millions of dollars, I expect you to be on the field in a bowl game. I just have certain expectations. But again, hey, it's my opinion. And that and $1.25 still will not buy you a pack of cigarettes. And Gonzo knows it's true. Man. I remember when cigarettes you could buy for $3 a pack. Now I look at it, it's like $6 or $7 a pack. And I'm like, damn. What a time to be alive. So what were the worst NFL moves of 2022 offseason? Gonzo, what do you think? What players, whatever, were the worst moves in the NFL this past offseason?
Denver Broncos with hire Nathaniel Hackett as their head coach, and then and then the Russell Wilson move. I think them two moves have to be considered as the
one. Is it 1A, 1B?
Damn, John Moreau says $13 a pack in Connecticut. I'm going out. Fuck out. Ooh, I don't live in Connecticut.
Hey, all I know is I'm glad I quit smoking and took up drinking. It's a lot cheaper.
I don't know about that, but
No. Now that I go to the VA, I have cut my drinking way back, and it's affordable now. And cough syrup isn't that expensive. But anyway, as we were saying, I'm kidding. I don't drink cough syrup. Okay, I don't.
So they're like, when I first started smoking the cigarettes I smoked were like $3 something a pack. Now they're up to like $7 a pack. So I don't smoke those no more. I smoke the cheap ones. But anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he says Packers extended Aaron Rodgers' contract was stupid. I don't know.
I don't think that was the worst. I don't think that was the worst move.
No, that's not the worst move. Oh, there's plenty of worse moves out there. I haven't got to mine, but yeah, I'm definitely with you with the Hackett being the first 1A and then 1B being Russell Wilson. Look, you got a guy that's missing the rest of the season with a concussion. You got a guy that clearly has a problem with the coaching staff because he can't get on the same page, or the coaching staff just doesn't know how to use Russell Wilson. However you want to look at it. How I look at it is they gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a 5th-round pick, and on top of all that, it's like, what the hell? What the hell? And he gets 60 million, 245, whatever. I think it's 245 million.
Yeah, and you can only.
That's a bad move. There's something wrong with you, but
I don't think Nathaniel Hackett was a good choice as coach hire, but you can only put so much on Hackett as well. Some
I get
it.
To
go on Wilson.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's why I call it 1A, 1B. Because honestly, you should have never brought in Russell Wilson if you had Hackett. You should try to find a quarterback that could suit Hackett. Maybe a more pocket passer friendly guy. You know what I mean? Because that's what Aaron Rodgers for the most part is he's the same mold as Tom Brady. They're traditional pocket passers. And so you need a pocket passer type of coach. You know what I mean? What a time to be alive. But no, the work. Oh, he said, let me see what Damien. He said something about the Texans. Texans not trading Baker for Watson. Man, I would have probably gone with that. I would have been okay with that. I think would have put him in a better position for sure. And Baker would have been cheaper than Watson. So yeah, I'm okay with it. If you want to trade Baker for Watson, hey, I'm all about it. And again, nobody wanted to deal with Watson until after he cleared all those charges. And that's what took so damn long, was clearing the charges. And it's not like they're going to wait forever. No, but I'll tell you right now, I got 2. I'm not going to, because I actually had 4 on here, but you took away 2 of them with Hackett and Russell Wilson. So I'm going to go to the last 2 that I have, right? And there are other ones out there. Don't get me wrong, but these are the 2 that I have. Carson Wentz for being traded over to Washington was a bad one. It's not every day that you pay $28 million to have a guy sit on the bench behind a guy who's named after a beer. So yeah, man, putting Carson Wentz on the bench absolutely qualifies that as the worst mistake.
At least he's named after a decent beer.
Hey, I don't know, man. I gotta be honest with you, and we're gonna go down this. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but what I will say is this. I gotta be honest with you, man. Hey, listen, when it comes to beer, Leinenkugels makes a really good beer. It's actually a division now. It's a micro division of Miller Brewing Company. They make a good beer. But I will tell you, man, hey, ever since I got into this handcrafted beer and going to these micro distilleries or these micro breweries that make handcrafted beer, I don't even care about the commercial beer anymore. Like, I don't even want to drink Bud Lights. I'm just so enamored with craft beer now that I just – because one day, let me tell you something now. Once you have a really good craft beer – and then you try to go back and drink that stuff that's packaged and put into a grocery store bin, I'm telling you, man, it's like night and freaking day.
It's not the same.
Night and day.
I got a brewery that I'm representing right now, the Guardian Brewery.
Hold on now. No. Gonzo, that's not how we're doing that. Let's do it correctly. Now, go up there close so you can see it. Well, just tell me the name of it. It looks like a crown, though.
Yeah, it's a Guardian Brewing Company.
Guardian Brewing Company. There you go. Free shout out. Yeah, man. Hey, look, Gonzo, we gotta do that right, man. You can't give me no half-ass presentation.
Yeah, It's actually a couple guys I went to school with that they started brewing at home, and then now they are I mean they got beer at restaurants everywhere. They have
Nice.
they have a brewery here where you can go a tap room here you can go in there and drink beer and shit.
Hey, look, guys,
Absolutely.
to the viewers that are listening, and obviously, clearly, Gonzo is on the same page with me because he's wearing. My dog has a T-shirt that he wears when I go out when I take him out to the bar. Because every now and then I gotta take Blue to the bar. So I usually take Blue to the bar on Saturdays. So we call it Saturday Bar Night. And I got this shirt. It says Double-Ation Brewing Company, and that's the one that's out here in Richmond Hill, Georgia. And I'll throw on that little shirt, and man, I take him in there, and the females fall all over him. And hey, Blue's a whore. If y'all don't know Blue, man, one of these days I'll put a picture of Blue on here. But Blue's a whore. He's a straight up whore, but he's my whore, and I love him. What a time to be alive. Okay, we'll go on to the next subject matter. Final thoughts. Did we have? I thought I had one more. Did I have one? No, I guess I didn't have one more. I thought I had one more, but I don't have one more. That was it. Gonzo, damn it. And my hour and 15 will be proud of me. Final thoughts.
I was going to say we have a quick show and Logan's not even here to take part of it.
Yeah, I usually get bitched out from Logan, man. Dude, you got to get it down to an hour. Man, listen, I can't get shit down to an hour unless it's sex. If it's sex, I can get it down to 20 minutes or 20 seconds. Maybe not. If it was 20 minutes sex, I'd probably pass the fuck out, honestly. Worst offseason move was Steelers signing Trubisky and drafting. Yeah, hey, look, man. Hey, I'm okay with them signing Trubisky, but as your starter, not so much. Maybe more of a backup role. There was one thing I saw in here that I wanted to talk about. Oh, no, you know what? We'll wait on that one. I'm going to talk about the Correa one on Thursday, so we'll wait on that. Yeah, man. Final thoughts. My final thoughts. What are your final thoughts?
Hey, real quick, what do you think about the Jalen Hurts injury to the shoulder?
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. I'm glad you mentioned. Because I meant to write that down and I didn't write it down. So I'm glad you actually brought that up. That's a good thing to talk about. And it's not even only his shoulder, right? It'd be okay if it was a non-throwing hand shoulder. The fact that it's on his throwing hand, that's huge. That's huge. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because I'm telling you right now, Gonzo, listen, I know for a fact when the Cowboys play on Christmas Eve, I want a full Eagles squad. Because if we beat the Eagles and they don't have Jalen Hurts on there, I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Hurts didn't play. You only won because Hurts didn't play.
You'll never hear the end of it. It's just always going to be a lingering. And I'm okay. I get that. You're right, because it won't be the same. Because Gardner Minshew is not a bad backup, but that's not who I want to face. I want the best. So I want people to understand. I'm a Cowboys fan. And I'm telling you, I don't want Gardner Minshew. I want the best that Philadelphia Eagles have to offer me.
But let me ask you this: if you're the Eagles, do you even play him in this game?
Hell no. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, if he's not 100%, I don't play him. As much as it pains me to say that. If I'm the Philadelphia Eagles fan, okay, I'm gonna take my Dallas Cowboys hat off. Let me put my Cowboys hat over here, because I'm telling you right now. You ask me that question, I'm gonna speak like a fan, like a Cowboy, because I want the best. I'll be honest with you. I
understand that, but I mean, as an Eagle, say if you were the Eagles coach,
I get it. I took my Cowboy hat off. Okay, no, if I'm an Eagles fan or even Eagles staff, I'm not putting them out there. As a matter of fact, I think I don't play him again until the game right before the playoffs. And the only reason I play him in one game, or I should say the last game before the playoffs, is I want him to get back out there and just get his chemistry. And I want some game time conditioning, and I want to make sure that their timing and everything else is on point. And the only way you can do that or see how you're doing is through real game situations. So I think he needs to play the last game and then go into the playoffs. Otherwise, I think you're going to play your best player no matter what. I mean, if he comes back in the playoffs, well, then he comes back in the playoffs. But hopefully he'll be ready by that last game, just so he can get a little bit of preparation work in before you go that direction. But yeah,
I agree. I don't see the reason to take the risk in this game.
Yeah, I don't either. No. If I'm and let me be honest, I'm the most. Cowboy fans are very. I love Cowboys fans. I do. I love them all. They're just so dedicated to the cause. But they're also. I do get it where, and I used to be delusional too. I used to be like one of those delusions. But there's sometimes you have to take the delusional glasses off at some point and realize, hey, look, this is what your team really is. It doesn't mean that you're not a fan, because you can be a fan of a team, but realize your team sucks ass. You can. And right now, the Cowboys, they don't suck, but I don't think we're Super Bowl caliber yet. And I only say that because I feel like if you're Super Bowl caliber, we wouldn't be going to overtime with the Jags. If we were Super Bowl caliber, we're not going to wait to the last second to come back on the Texans. Now, it doesn't mean that, but again, my opinion means nothing, because honestly, the Chiefs lost to the Colts, and the Chiefs are going to be in the playoffs, and they're probably going to do quite well. Hell, they may even make it to the Super Bowl. You never know. But I don't know, man. Let me ask you this, man. How far do you think the Cowboys go this season? Like, do we get the first round, second round? Do we get to the conference at least?
See, I think they're good enough that when they play at their level, that they could get to the NFC Championship game. But then but the thing is, though, Jay, that's what's been crazy about this season. Every team has stumbled and looked like a team that isn't a Super Bowl caliber. There's not one team you could say that has just dominated the whole season. Yeah, the Eagles have only been beat once, but look they've had some struggles. Almost lost to the Colts. Hell, the Bears gave them a good game last week. So,
right.
You know what I mean? So the Bills have had struggles. The Chiefs, like you said, have had struggles. So there hasn't been that one team that's been dominant. I think that's what's going to be crazy about the playoffs this year is there's a handful of teams that legitimately have a chance to make the Super Bowl, where in some years you pretty much already know who's probably going to be in the Super Bowl. I feel like this year it's a little more wide open.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I agree. And I think me and you both have said it all season long that this season is, you can make projections of who you think will be in the Super Bowl, but quite honestly, we don't know. It's just too left, right, up, and down.
Well, this, I'm a big fan of the 49ers in the NFC, but I have some questions about them now because you have a rookie quarterback that's going to be leading you into the playoffs. How's he going to? He's looked good so far, but how's he going to perform when that pressure starts getting more? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, honestly, and you're not going to know until you get under fire, right? Once you get it baptismal, they always call it baptismal under fire. Now, Joe Burrow did pretty good, but again, a lot of people have said, and I understand that number one, Joe Burrow is a better athlete. Number two, he has been around the organization for a couple of years before he actually got his first full season in. And we saw what happened when he got his first full season. He went all the way to the top. How far Purdy goes, I don't know. Sky's the limit. I'm not going to say nothing negative on him.
And Burrow has the ability this year of maybe getting his team back there.
You know what? I think he does.
Beagles are starting to play good ball.
I'm serious, man. Hey, if you look at last year, he went to the same situation last year.
Yep.
And they wound up in the damn playoffs. And then they wound up in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm just saying, hey, who's to say? I do. I think Purdy, you know what? That's a crazy thing, though, Gonzo. I think Purdy gives him a better chance.
I can't believe you put that up there.
I know. But I don't know. I kind of agree with it, though. I do, man. I do. Look, you know, I'm not a Jimmy G fan. I am not a Jimmy G fan. I'm not.
I can't say I trust Purdy more than Jimmy G. Not yet. Hey, Jimmy G.
And again,
the 49ers win.
Hey, listen. You're also taking the advice of a guy that when the wife gets in bed and she's naked, I pre-ejaculate before I ever make it to the bed, and I have to apologize. So take that for a grain of salt. Bengals look really, really. They do look good, man. I'm telling you. The only thing that I always worry about with the Bengals is the running game. Mixon did not really produce in that Super Bowl like he should have produced, I felt like. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing that worries me about is, can Mixon really be the running back for that team in the playoffs, not regular season, but playoffs.
I think sometimes they get away from the running game a little too much.
And that's true. And it kind of happens when you got T. Higgins and freaking Jamar Chase on your team. I'm just saying. I mean, you're talking about two highly talented, and then you got who's the other guy? Is it Njoku?
No, you got Tyler Boyd on that team as well. It's
Boyd, thank you. It's not Boyd. That's that. Thank you for this. Tyler Boyd. That's the one I was forgetting, but I knew who. But in my mind, I knew I was trying to say. So you got Boyd, Higgins, and Jamar Chase. I mean, when you got three wide receivers like that, all I could think of, and you got Burrow and you got Mixon. I don't know, man. Show on turf. Rams of 2000 and whatever that won the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. I mean, the offense, I don't know about the defense, but the offense has got to remind you of that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, they did have Marshall Faulk in that Super Bowl winning team too. So take that with a grain of salt, I guess. But no, man, I feel like this year is going to give great things. I think it's going to give great things. What scares me is how the NFC East is going to build going forward. And what I mean by that is the NFC East used to be really, really shitty, and they called us the NFC least. And I'm saying I don't see the Dallas Cowboys ever dipping down. I don't see that happen. I don't see the Eagles at this point really dipping down. And I see Dable and the Giants, and I see the Redskins, the Commanders. I see the bottom two teams that are going to build back up. And I think the NFC East is going to be called the NFC Beast at some point if they keep developing in the way in which they're developing. Would you agree with that or disagree with that?
No, I agree. Why you think he didn't produce? You think it's the people that are opening the holes for him?
Yeah, I think that offensive line is they brought in Lyle Collins from the Cowboys and put him on the offensive line, and I think he's doing well. I haven't heard anything bad about it, but I still do think that the Cincinnati offensive line is still the issue. And if I'm Cincinnati and I'm drafting, when I'm drafting this first round, I'm probably going to draft O-lineman, just straight O-lineman to rebuild that offensive line, to be honest with you. Because I do think that the offensive line is still a sore spot on that team. Their defense is fine. Their running game is fine. Everything is fine. It's just that O-line still needs a little bit of love, tender love and care. And if I'm them, look, if you look at the first part of this draft, and Gonzo, we need to do a draft show one of these days and talk about the draft. Matter of fact, that might be – when is the draft? What day is the draft on? Is next year? Is that right? What is it? What is a draft month? Is it usually like March or April or it's like
April maybe?
I think it's like April, right?
I think so.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this show we'll do an actual draft. I don't know if we're gonna do a draft. We may do a draft. We're either gonna do a draft or we're gonna talk about players that we think are gonna go to certain teams. I think it's gonna be a draft. I think March is gonna be a draft conference.
It's the end of April.
It's the end of April. Okay, so we're going to do it in March. Because by the time March comes around, we're going to know who all declared for the draft, who didn't declare for the draft, so forth and so forth. So come March, put it on the calendars. Unscripted is going to do a draft day show. That's all we're going to do. We're going to have opening remarks, and then we're going to go right into a draft. And we're going to do 1 through 32, who we think is going to go where. That's what we're going to do in March. So stay tuned for that. We got that coming up. Yeah, 27th to the 29th of April. So imagine this. The week of the 20th, I don't know what that is, but whatever week the 20th falls on, either that Tuesday or Thursday, we are going to do an unscripted draft party, and we're going to talk about who we have at each position, and we're going to ask for commenters, hey, who do you think? This is what us panelists think should go at position 1. Who do y'all have at position 1? And then we're just going to compare notes. That's all that show's going to be. It's just going to be a big draft day show. And maybe a little March Madness the day after. What a time to be alive, man. Gonzo, hey, I know you're ready to get out of here and go relax and take a chill pill. And Well, just do whatever Gonzo does in his spare time. But final thoughts, brother.
Eat tacos and watch sports.
God, I know. I love tacos, man. There's nothing better than a good taco.
Or barbecue. Really, tacos or barbecue.
God, Jesus Christ. Or good Tex-Mex. Jesus, some good Tex-Mex would be badass too. Jesus. Guys, I'm bringing your butt down. Look, I've told you once, I'm gonna tell you again. I'm coming up to Indiana. I'm gonna kidnap you and your pops. We're gonna go down south. We're gonna have a barbecue. We're gonna podcast our asses off. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a great time. But yeah, final thoughts. You got anything you want to promote or get off your chest or whatever it is you want to do?
Final thoughts. Right now, I'm watching a little bit of college basketball. Watching IU play Elon. I don't understand why some of these bigger schools, play these.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand either. Speaking of which, one last question. Since you brought up college basketball, you know the number one spot has floated around by different schools. Houston had it, Purdue had it, so on and so forth. Who do you think right now is your true number one team right now in college basketball?
Man, I would probably go with Houston as of right now. But man, there's a lot of teams that have the ability to be up there. It's going to be I think March Madness is going to be fun this year.
Hey, peace out, John Monroe, man. I appreciate you commenting, and I definitely agree. I've been shouting it to the high heavens. Every time somebody mentions Barry Bonds or any of the steroid guys, the first word out of my mouth, and Gonzo will tell you, the first word always out of my mouth is Pete Rose, Pete Rose. Am I right, Gonzo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pete Rose should definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
I know. Say it like you mean it. He's like, yeah, man. Every time, I swear to God, all we want to do is talk about some steroid guys that we think should be in the Hall of Fame. And here comes old Jay McLovin talking about motherfucking Pete Rose.
No, hey, Pete Rose
is old.
Hey, Pete Rose is my favorite player.
No, man, I'm just teasing you.
Hey, I have Pete Rose tattooed on my leg.
Hey, I know you do, man. Hey, any guy that would get that tattooed on his leg, you know he loves some Petey in his life.
Yeah, but hey, Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
But no, I agree, man. Hey, look, and I'm sorry. I'm not. Oh, Jesus, because we're gonna go down that rabbit hole. I know we're gonna
John's been with the Reds for a long time. I remember Marge Shaw.
No, but my point is, by the way, John Monroe, man, I appreciate you, brother. I do. And John, I think you're going to agree with me, man. The dude wrote a personal freaking letter of apology, put it on freaking social media so the whole world can see him basically bowing down, asking their forgiveness, this, that, and the other. And then you're not going to let him in the fucking Hall of Fame, you fucking asshole. When's the last time Barry Bonds called you and said, yo, man, I did steroids. It was wrong. Hey. Can you give me your forgiveness? And same thing with Roger Clemens, so on and so forth. Have you gotten any letters? Because I'm pretty sure Pete Rose gave you a public declaration of, yo, I fucked up. Can you let me in, please? I fucked up. I'm telling you I fucked up. And I'm taking remorse, and I'm taking my acts, and I'm writing this, I'm putting on stuff. Come on.
What's going to happen is Pete Rose will pass away, and then they'll put him in the Hall of Fame. They'll put him in, but they're not going to let him have the satisfaction of knowing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, again, he says you got guys doing coke while they're. Again, I agree, man. I'm totally on board with what you're saying. And then, excuse me, I got to go back up. Damien does say, what are our thoughts on Joe Judge's 60-second home run ball being auctioned for one? You know what? Hey, if you want to auction off that ball for $1.5 million, I'm okay with it. I think it should be more. But you know why I think it should be more? Because I don't put Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa or Mark McGwire. I don't put any of those guys as a legitimate home run single season king. That shit belongs to Aaron Judge. Unless Aaron Judge popped positive for drugs, if he did it cleanly, then 62 is a new freaking number, not 73 that Bonds holds. So I'm okay with giving him a one. I think it should be more. I think it should have been $3 million, but whatever.
First of all, I didn't know Joe Judge hit 62
Yeah,
home
what is
runs.
it? Joe Judge. And I said it because he wrote it on there. It's actually Aaron Judge, but or as they say, it's Aaron Judge.
But I have to disagree with you. I have Barry Bonds as the home run king because Major League Baseball knew everybody was doing that stuff, and they didn't care because it was bringing baseball back. So I don't think you should villainize the guys later after the only reason baseball done anything about it was because Congress got involved.
Yeah, no, hey, listen, I understand both sides of the argument, right? I do. But again, if a guy can hit 62 cleanly hit 62 with no performance enhancing drugs, could you imagine what could he have done if he did performance enhancing drugs? How much further would he have been down the road? So what I'm saying is this: it's kind of like if I'm Aaron, if I'm Manfred. Now this probably will get a lot of controversy. Matter of fact, I know it's going to get controversy. There's going to be a lot of blowback. There's going to be a lot of this, that, and the other. But sometimes you got to say F it and do it. If I'm doing the right thing and I see a guy who I know is clean and he hits 62, and I see other guys that aren't clean and they're hitting 73, I'm going to take. I'm not going to. I got to keep the standard. And I'm sorry, but steroids does give you power, and power does give you distance, and distance does give you home runs. So again, I think I gotta be honest with you, man. Hey, I think well, there's one or two ways you can do it, man. Right? You can have Aaron Judge with 73, and then you can have Barry Bonds hitting 73 home runs, and that's what he hit. But then you got to give the home run king crowd single season to Aaron Judge at 62 because Aaron Judge did it without doing drugs, and so therefore you can't compare one standard to the next. How do you do that? How is that even possible? Because people will say, well, Jay, you got to admit, Barry Bonds, yeah, he got 73 home runs, but he did have to make contact to get those. Okay, well, you know what? You know who else makes contact? Aaron Judge. Well, no. And how many of those balls, had he been juiced on, would have gone out the park? I'll tell you right now. Go look at the World Series. When Aaron Judge hit that one home run and it went to right field instead of left field, had it gone to left field, it would have been a home run. It went to right field and basically hit the wall, the top of the wall. But it didn't even hit that. The guy caught it. But the guy caught it as it hit almost before it hit the top of the wall. Had he been on drugs, and I say drugs, I mean steroids, that's probably a home run. I'm just saying, it's a home run. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of different ways to look at that, honestly. But I agree. I think Pete Rozelle is Pete Rozelle is scum to me. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a Pete Rozelle fan either. I'm not a fan. But I think if you make a public apology, you should be in the damn Hall of Fame. Damn it, there is people. Yeah, I know. Hey, listen. Hey, you're talking to the choir now. But no, Gonzo, honestly, man. There's many ways to cheat the game of baseball, right? We've been cheating the baseball game for years. I would have sold that number 62 baseball. It was the fan. Yeah, if I was the fan, I would have sold it too. Trust me. You know what I could do with $1.5 million? Watch this, Gonzo. Watch this. You ready for it? If I won $1.5 million, I would firstly pay off my house, first of all. Then I would pay off an RV. Gonzo. Then you know what I would do with the rest of it? I would wrap around. I would go up north. I'm not going to do Logan because Logan's going to be a millionaire anyway. You've seen Logan's on radio now. It won't be long before he's on ESPN making $30 million. Okay, I promise. Logan's going places. What's your thoughts on the Suns being so? We'll get to that in just one second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up north. I'm going to snag Frankie and them babies and that beautiful wife, and I'm going to throw them in the RV. Then I'm going to slide over west, and I'm going to pick up you and the Pops, and we're all going to go down to the McMinn compound, and we're all going to have our own personal bedrooms, and we're going to live like freaking kings, man. We're going to live like freaking kings on $1.5 million. I'm just saying. That's what I would do. Frankie says he could have given it back to MLB for $3 million instead of going $1 million. Again, I agree, man. Him letting it go. No, well, first of all, Frankie, it was 1.5. Listen, I don't know about you, but $500,000 is a lot of damn money to not put on that damn text message. It's $1.5 million. But I agree. He can't get me. No, it's all right. Hey, John, it's all right, man. You're all good, man. Hey, we love the commenters. The commenters are what we're actually trying to build here at Unscripted. So the more comments, the more merrier we are. So we appreciate you and your time. But Gonzo, man, $1.5 million. Man, I'm telling you, bro. Hey, we're living high on the hog, baby. All of us are living high on the hog. We're all going to do great things. God. And then they're going to call us David Koresh, and we'll probably have the FBI outside my doorstep saying, I know you got Gonzo in there. I know you got Tony Gonzalez in there. I know you got Frankie Cruz Jr. in there. Y'all better come up with your hands held high.
Son of a bitch.
He said, damn, John, shut up so they can end the show. Frankie, be quiet. You know you love me. All right. Hey, any other final thoughts, Gonzo, or are you good?
No, I'm good. I was going to say Merry Christmas to everybody, but we'll have a show Thursday, so I'll wait till Thursday for that. So
yeah. Oh, so that was my final thought too. So, excuse me, I apologize. Final thoughts for me is number one. Damn, no, come on, Jay. Number one, go Cowboys. Let's beat these Eagles. And yeah, number one, go. Just beat the
only
damn
reason you're
Eagles.
going to beat the Eagles is because Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Hey, shut your mouth. Hey, look, I already made that disclaimer. Okay, we all know what's up. We have to go there. But I appreciate you for stepping on my heart. I do. Thank you. But no, yeah. Listen, like Gonzo said, like I said, we're gonna have a show Thursday, like we always do, and then we're gonna take off the weekend because, well, it's Christmas, and frankly, we just want to do Christmas-like things. So yeah, we will be off Saturday. We'll be back on Monday, ready and willing and able to do the afternoon show with the Afternoon Blitz crew, and then we will be back Tuesday with the Blitz crew, and then with Unscripted at 7 p.m. on Thursday. So whatever. It's all good.
And don't forget on Christmas Eve.
I meant after Saturday. Frankie, we're gonna be back Tuesday. Yeah, I know that.
Don't forget on Christmas Eve Saturday that there's like 9 NFL games. So we got football all day on Christmas Eve, and then I think there's a few games on Christmas Day.
Yeah, he's like Krampus. Hey, real quick, if anybody lives in the Mechanicsville, New York area, I will personally send you a bottle of Jack Daniels. No, we're going to do better than that. We're going to send you a bottle of Gentleman Jack. This is how much I want this to happen. I will send whoever does this, and by the way, if you do it, I need proof. But anybody who can shovel snow in front of Frankie Cruz's door and back door. I mean, hey, look, we need epic performance of snow in front of Frankie's front door and back door. I will give you a bottle of Gentleman Jack. God, please, Lord, let somebody.
Dude, it's supposed this weekend on Friday and Saturday here. It's supposed to be like 3 degrees. So my ass will be in the house.
Hey, serious. Hey, listen. Hey, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll double it and give you 2 bottles of Gentleman Jack then because of how cold it is. But listen, I gotta be honest with you. I lived in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Like I told you earlier, man, I was about 20, 30 feet, or not feet, but yards. I was about 20 or 30 yards off the water, and I was out there in some shorts and a t-shirt shoveling snow. So I have no personal whatevs. There you go, baby. There you go. God, I win. Frankie, you better be lucky I don't live in Mechanicsville, because I'd come to your doorstep and I'd put all kinds of snow on that son of a.
John said, I'll bring my snowblower.
Hell yeah. John, listen. I need you to go to this address with your snowblower. Take your snowblower and go to that address and get Frankie's ass. God. Hey, listen, Have you ever seen how big Frankie is? And he's slow. Frankie's slow. All you do is turn that snowblower and face him and just pelt his ass with snow. He'll fall like a brick house. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. All right, folks. Hey, listen, that's our show. As you see on the ticker all night long, you can catch us on TikTok at Unscripted Guys, all one word, or Twitter, Unscripted, Twitter, Unscripted Guys, all one word. TikTok, Unscripted Sports, all one word. Just like it's coming across the screen. And then it would be Unscripted followed by the show date if you want to link up with us on YouTube. So that's it, man. That's it. John, we out of here, baby. Frankie, man. I'm big, but I'm not slow. Don't tell them that. Laugh out loud. You ready to have me there? So hey, look, Frankie, all I know is you are big, you are slow. You better call Robert Duran Jr. and have him come over and fight your battles while you try to mangle the snowblower. But anyway, all right, man, listen, we will see you guys Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And, yeah, man, that'll be the last show. And then we go into Christmas, and then we'll be back on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right? You guys have a good night. It's your boy, Jay McLovin, with my boy, my main man, Gonzo Chris Gonzalez. Make sure you check him out on his Easy Money, his Horseshoe Talk, his Afternoon Blitz, his Unscripted. Well, hell, just go to ASAP. You'll see him on everything. He's not hard to find. And thank you, Babyface Logan, for attempting to be on the show, but ultimately probably passed out. What a time to be alive. I'll tell you what, man, that Logan, man, you give him about 2 shots of vodka, and that dude's on the floor crying from mama. Watch this. Mama. Looking for that. I'm just telling you, man, it's a terrible, terrible waste of time. All right, folks, we are out of here. Y'all have a good evening. Peace.